Cheers. Welcome from Lodi, California. I am Mary Ellen with Travels Uncorked, and we are sharing the world of wine with you. We are on a mission today to find some great Old Vine Zins because unfortunately it has become very difficult to harvest and produce this wine. With the older vines, they do not get as much yield as younger vines. I believe about half the yield is actually harvested, which means a vine like this just doesn't produce as much as a younger vine would. So a lot of vineyards have decided to pull up their old vines and plant new where they can get a higher yield. So it's very special when you can actually get to try an Old Vine Zin because this vine is actually going away soon. Lodi is known for their Old Vine Zinfandels, and you're probably thinking, what makes a Zinfandel an Old Vine Zinfandel? Well, we have a beautiful model here for you to demonstrate. If you look over here on the bark, notice how it's it actually looks like bark. It looks like the bark of like a pine tree. Zinfandel, when it gets to be about 25 to 30 years old, that's really when it starts to be considered an old vine. Even though there's not a technical year for it, when the bark starts to get this bark look here of a tree, that's really when you can characterize it as an old vine. But this particular vineyard that we're in right now is with Harmony Winelands, and it was planted in the 70s. With that 25 to 30 year window, this is definitely an Old Vine Zin since it was planted before then. So you get to see a good representation of the gnarly vines. Then we get to see a great grape cluster here of the fruit. So if you could just take a minute here and look, as you see, we're not on a trellis. Each vine is individually planted, and then when it comes to harvesting, you have to hand pick. And yes, a lot of places still hand pick, but especially with the Old Vine Zin, you definitely have to hand pick because as you can see, the grape clusters are not placed in a row like they are on a trellised vine. Sporadically placed, so these are all hand picked, which means each cluster is picked with care, is picked with love. So when you have that next bottle of Old Vine Zin, think about all these characteristics that go into that bottle. They are at least 25 to 30, if not 100 years old. There are still some vines here that are from the early 1900s. Here in the Old Vine Zins, they each have their own personality. You look at this vine and you're like, oh, you can just tell, he's a crotchety old man. Or this vine over here is a perfect princess lady. Each vine has its own little story to tell, and that has become something that just gives me chill bumps because as I look at all of these different vines, I think of what story do they have to tell. And so I don't want to touch him too much because I don't want this old crotchety man to get mad at me. Really experiencing and understanding the vine stories and then getting to taste the wines, you really understand the love and passion not only for wine but for literally each vine that goes into the bottles here at Harmony. Next time you see an Old Vine Zin, think about the story. Think about their unique personalities. And what would that vine say to you? Come out here to the vineyard. You can walk freely here and just look at each vine and think, oh, is that the pretty princess or is that the crotchety old man? Do you like Old Vine Zin? Tell us in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and like to see more, don't forget to like, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Travels Uncorked.